morning, MESPA. It's an honor to be standing in front of you as an early career administrator. This is also my first institute, so why not go big? Why not go big with a MESPA Speaks presentation, right? So as Ethan was presenting, I thought of two things. If Ethan can get up here and do this, so can I, and the hashtag of Do It for Ethan. So one of my kindergarten students was asked by his mom what I do all day. Don't worry, this mom and I are still friends. And this kindergarten student did an imitation of me, where he put a big smile on his face and he waved at his mom. I thought, I have no idea what this imitation means, until I found myself in the hallway one day and the kindergarten students were passing on their way to lunch. And there I stood like a big fool, huge smile on my face, waving enthusiastically at every child who made their way past me on the way to lunch. This got me thinking, what's my most important role as a school leader? And I concluded that those daily positive interactions that I have with students, staff, and families are really the most important relationships that I can create and maintain. So a connection that might start with a smile and a wave, that deepens into a relationship over time. A relationship that is built on trust, mutual respect, and a belief in each other. Relationships are at the center of everything that we do in education. From the relationships that our school boards have with our administrative teams, to the relationships that teachers have with each other and their students and families. Without an abundance of positive, healthy, effective relationships, there isn't a school mission, vision, or initiative that can be successful. These relationships should be built using a growth mindset, having high expectations for all, and taking opportunities to celebrate each other's successes. Imagine with me, if you would please, a classroom environment where students are interdependent with other students. They are working together to move each other's learning forward. In this same classroom environment, teachers have the opportunity to be interdependent with other teachers, creating a culture and an environment that allows the students to have these opportunities. We are striving for a student-centered with rigor classroom at King Elementary and within the Deer River School District. We are providing opportunities for our students to work with partners, to work in small groups. And our goal is really to have the students drive the learning forward, have the students own the learning. When the students are doing the heavy lifting, then our teachers are able to facilitate that learning. Teachers are able to work with other teachers in trusting relationships where they hold each other up, they support each other's growth, and they are also working together to move the entire system forward. We are following many of the experts in the field of education. I'm sure many of you have studied John Hatties' meta-analysis, and some of the most important ideas that have come out of that are that a student's belief in themselves, a teacher's belief in their students, and collective teacher efficacy has a great impact on learning. One of my favorite TED Talks comes from Rita Pierson. I'm sure many of you have seen it. And there are two things that she says in her TED Talk that I think will stay with me forever. One of them is that kids don't learn from teachers they don't like. And she also says that every kid needs a champion. I've had the opportunity to hear Manny Scott speak. I hope many of you have as well. And one of the messages that he shares with us is that even on our worst days, we can be a student's best hope. So taking these ideas, we are implementing strategies within our classrooms to form these strong relationships. We are putting conditions in place for our students. And I'd like to share a story of a young man, that's Antoine. Antoine is currently a 4th grader at King Elementary. And I gave Antoine's mom, Myra, a phone call a couple weeks ago and said, hey, Myra, I have this idea. I'd like to tell a little bit of Antoine's story to a couple hundred, several hundred Minnesota principals. Would you be okay with that? Myra did not skip a beat. She said, I would love it if you would talk about my son and his success. So it's my honor to share a little bit of Antoine's story. So when Antoine was in 2nd grade, he struggled with behaviors in the classroom. He was well liked by his peers and by staff. However, he had a very difficult time regulating his emotions. He appeared angry, he would lash out at staff, and he did not have the necessary skills that he needed to be a successful 2nd grade student. His teacher, her first step was to work very hard to build that relationship with Antoine and also to reach out to his mom, Myra, and his grandmothers, who also helped care for Antoine. She reached out, and we were able to wrap Antoine in all of the sports that we currently have at King School. He received mental health support, eventually special education services, and looking back in 2nd and 3rd grade, Antoine had a total of 57 office discipline referrals. Each year, he was in the top 10 students for most referrals. This year, as a 4th grader, I'm proud to share that he has had 0 office discipline referrals and has actually received a citizenship award twice for being safe, respectful, and responsible. This progress, this growth that Antoine made, it didn't happen overnight, and it wasn't an easy process. But the learning team that was created to support Antoine and his caregivers played an instrumental role in his success. Not only was Antoine wrapped in supports, but his teachers were wrapped in supports as well. They had opportunities to collaborate with their colleagues, with mental health experts, with special education teachers, and first and foremost, taking the lead from Antoine's mom, Myra. She was welcomed into the learning team early. She was listened to, her ideas were implemented. And when I called her a couple weeks ago, she wanted me to share with all of you that she and Antoine have a goal this year. And every day that Antoine brings home a positive point sheet, which is full of 3s, he tucks away $1. And when Antoine and I had lunch on Wednesday, he said he's saving, and he's hoping that by the end of the year, he will be able to buy a Nintendo Switch, which I believe Antoine will be able to do that. Myra also wanted me to share with you that most evenings, they work on multiplication and division facts at home. And something that her son taught her was that he needed her to be present and he needed her to listen to him, something she wasn't able to do when he was in 2nd grade and early 3rd grade. And so now most evenings, they sit down together, they look at his point sheet, they talk about his day, and they take opportunities to celebrate the small successes that he is achieving. When relationships are built, learning teams are formed, many of our students' needs are met, and we can move towards our goals of creating student-centered classrooms of rigor. In closing, I just want to share gratitude to all educators and administrators. My message to teachers is that your work is difficult, but it is not impossible. And through collaboration with your colleagues, you can achieve success, hope, and happiness. My message to fellow administrators is to take turns leading and supporting your teachers, and you will also find success, hope, and happiness in your work. And above all else, remember to smile big and wave enthusiastically, because your impact on your student culture and student learning is great. And I also want to thank MESPA for putting me last, because now I can tell my staff that I opened for Principal Brooks and get some credit. Thank you.